It's a great day to live in Orlando. One of the biggest mistakes I see sellers make isn't pricing. It's doing too much, or worse, doing the wrong things before they list. Most homeowners don't need a full remodel. What they need is clarity. And my job isn't to sell you upgrades. My job is to help you decide what actually matters and what doesn't. So, here's usually what happens when someone starts to think about selling. They Google, what should I fix before selling? Or they, throw it in chat. They get 50 different opinions. You have contractors come in and suggesting big products. Their friends say, you have to redo the kitchen. The kitchen is what sells. They're not wrong. And suddenly, everything feels expensive and overwhelming. And that's when sellers either A, freeze, or spend money that doesn't come back to them. Neither one of these helps you. So this is where I come in. When I work with a seller, I'm not asking, how do we make this house perfect? If you want a perfect house, the closest thing you'll get is a new build. If that, and believe you me, some of my inspector friends have told me stories. But that is the expectation. So the goal isn't to make the house new. The goal is, I'm asking with these people, like, how do we make it market ready for this buyer in this market? And that means a lot of different things. I have investors calling me all the time. Hey, if you have anything, we specialize in rehab, fix and flip, any off-market properties, they want this deal. And they blow up my phone with texts all the time. And so what happens is I'll throw something back, like, oh, I have a condo. And of course, that's not what they're looking for. What they're actually looking for is single-family residence, a house, standalone house that's in horrible condition. And you don't see a lot of those in today's market, January 2026. Today's. But I always say, look, I get on the phone with some of these people and say, look, I have a buy and hold as an investor, if that's your strategy, because it's a different market, right? It's the same market, but it's a different market. Why? Because who are we looking for in that market? So here's my process. First impressions. I look at the flow of the house. How does it feel? What's the light look like? Is it clean? Is there an emotional vibe to that? See, when buyers walk into a house, they decide how they feel about a home in seconds. I had this lady, I was showing about 4 or 5 properties, and we were on property number 3, and we walked in the door. I unlocked the door. She walks in and doesn't get past the foyer. And she looks there, and I go, you don't like it? She goes, no. I go, let's go. And she's like, really? She goes, but I feel like I'm wasting your time. I said, no, you don't like it. Quit wasting your time. Right? She felt it right away. So, what do we have to do? My job is to help separate the necessary from the nice to have. Right? Obviously, safety issues, we call that in lingo having good bones, right? You want the electrical to be good. You want the water heater to work. You want the AC working. You want to make sure there's no leaks. Those kinds of things, right? And assuming all that's good, then this is really what sellers know when they have those problems. But assuming all that's good, the baseline is we start looking at the visual distractions. And we start taking inventory. Now, some houses really just need a freshen up, right? They just need a freshen up. Some houses need a freshen up and an update. What's the difference? A freshen up is, I got to, either deep clean, maybe a fresh coat of paint on the house before I sell it. But everything looks pretty good. Deep cosmetics, what tends, I call it light rehab, right? Maybe pull out the carpet, maybe put in, upgrade your cabinetry, all that kind of stuff. And they do that. And that's, so you got to look at all this stuff. I call it a cosmetic upgrades with low ROI. So my job is to sit there and say, I'm not here to cause you to renovate. I'm here to find a way to position your property as is with recommendations of possible light fixes, good ROI, good return on your money. So if you are investing $100, Can I get you $5 to $1,000 back? There's an old saying that says $100 can of paint on the floor is worth $1,000 on the wall, give or take. I heard $10. Originally it was $10 can of paint is worth $100 on the wall, but inflation. So that's what we look for. So what do? Now we take that and we say, okay, here's your options. You can do this, 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 and this. You have your choice. And if you need help finding somebody, I can do that. If you want to get your own painters, you want to get your own car, whatever it is, your call. And then we say, I look at projections based upon what the market is, right? Is there a lot of inventory? And not just in the Orlando market, nationwide. Is there inventory in this particular city, this particular zip code? Are buyers picky? As of this recording, buyers are not necessarily picky, they're more choosy. Is speed a priority? Is a price priority? Right? We can sell any house tomorrow. You just market low enough, somebody's going to buy it. So what makes sense in one market can be a waste in another. And my job is to eliminate that waste, or at least let you know where it could be, and then you get to decide. So here's what I don't do with you sellers. I don't pressure them into upgrades. I will help you sell your house as is. And I will give you clarity as to what you can reasonably expect in your pocket selling your house as is. I don't push my preferred vendors. And let me say something about preferred vendors. When we throw that out to people, oh, my preferred vendor, the implication is, oh, I get a kickback, or, oh, so-and-so gets a kickback because they're pushing this person cross-marketing. Now, when you're working with me, my preferred vendor is this. Who is that vendor in terms of service? Honesty? Will they go above and beyond and treat you like I'll treat you? That, for me, is a Daryl Dezek preferred vendor. Will they not nickel and dime you to death? Are they grateful for my referral and service? Will they care for you like I care for you? So, and I also don't treat every home the same, because every home is not. Some homes need that deep clean. Some need a decluttering and a deep clean. Some need a few strategic touch-ups. Others need more guidance, but never blindly. I have currently a condo coming on the market at this time that's could sell as is. I had a renter in there for a while, and what we're seeing is that obviously it needs a paint job, but it is outdated. So to upgrade it and to make it up to date is going to cost this seller more than he's willing to invest in it. So what can we do knowing that we'll eliminate our buyer pool? Well, I always recommend fresh paint. Right? We want to make sure that looks good. I make sure a deep clean. Make sure there's no holes in the wall. Make sure it looks in move-in ready. Kind of like an apartment. Is it move-in ready? So the buyer, this particular buyer, is either going to be a first home buyer looking to get into something at a little bit lower end, affordable, or it's going to be somebody who's like, I'm just happy to own, and we'll do the upgrades as we go. That's the buyer pool for this. So I share that with my sellers because the biggest value that I bring to these sellers, it isn't a checklist. It's judgment. It's knowing, what are the buyers going to notice? What are they going to ignore? And what will they mentally deduct from the price? And here's a pro tip on that one. Buyers always mentally deduct more than the actual cost. It's funny. Sellers and buyers, you could ask how much is a paint job for the house, and they will come up with two drastically different numbers. It's my job to present the reality of it. Eliminate any uncertainty in both the buyer and the seller, and let them see what they are getting and let them see what they're not getting. Because at the end of the day, right, transparency and clarity, it makes for a great transaction, and it makes for happy customers on both sides. So with my sellers, and in this case, when I represent the sellers, and by default, the buyers, when they feel calm, they feel clear, they make better decisions. And like I said, the sale usually goes smoother. So in this case, my friends, if you are thinking about selling, whether it's this year or next year, it's okay to start with a conversation. No pressure, no commitments, just clarity. And I believe in slowing down for clarity, because slow is smooth and smooth is fast. If you ever want to talk it through, I'm easy to reach.